Now eating these noodles, I would wish this would be a hospital still. Startup, its employees and affiliates will not be held responsible or liable for any injuries, damage.
So we are back with another spicy chat, and this time we have got Ville, the CEO of Maria01. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here today.
So before we continue with the questions and the noodles, we'd like Ville to read something.
Liability waiver. So I, print name, the participant certify that I'm over the age of 18, that I'm participating in the Spicy Chat Challenge. I understand that I will be eating spicy noodles that are 10,000 SHU on the Scoville scale. I'm not aware of any illness, allergies, or other health issues that would endanger me when participating in the Spicy Noodles Challenge. I confirm that I do not have a medical condition that would jeopardize my health or well-being during after the challenge. I acknowledge that there could be a risk of personal injury, illness, possible loss of life by participating in this challenge. Wow, okay, this is interesting. I agree that I'm taking on the challenge at my own risk and hereby certify that Go Startup, its employees and affiliates will not be held responsible or liable for any injuries, damage, or loss of earnings caused during and or after the challenge. I certify that my information provided and my signature indicates that my understanding and assumption of the risks and my voluntary participation in this challenge. Thank you. I ask you first question. So, have you already had these cases yet? Because I haven't seen you signing anybody earlier. Okay, 10,000 is quite a lot. I must say.
I'm so happy you signed this thing.
So, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? What is Maria01, etc., etc.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Ville Simola. As said, I'm the CEO for Maria01. Maria01 is one of the leading startup campuses in the Nordics, based from Helsinki, Finland. Currently, the community involves over 180 startup companies, 24 VC funds or different investors, 22 different partner organizations, 24 different ecosystem supporting organizations. So it's actually a very broad community of different actors, and the goal with all of us is to be the best environment and community for startups to grow.
Let's go back to the noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, these are so spicy, guys.
These are. Actually, I never think that I've eaten anything this spicy.
So how did you find yourself ending up at Maria01?
Yeah, that was interesting because, like I said, I was away from the startup ecosystem for some years, actually already quite a long time, so like 5 years or so. I sort of had this urge that I would like to come back much more closer to the ecosystem. But it was only like a thought in the back of my head at that point. And then I think, as many times, things happen when you don't expect them. So then I actually got a phone call from the previous CEO that, he's about to leave, and his task was to, gather a long list of, potential people who could, continue the work. And then he called me. I was one of the people he approached, and then we started talking, and then I ended up here.
Which year you ended up in Maria01?
2019.
2019. Okay.
Yeah, in the summer. Yeah.
And when you have to explain to other people what Maria01 and where it's located and all of these buildings, what do you usually do? You mention, because it's always interesting for me to say that Maria01 was hospital at some point. Do you track that? Is that some interesting topic of the conversation when you introduce Maria01?
I think that's a good way to to create interest, because there's something unique in here, and we know that this place as a hospital, it is very unique.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start the conversation and then tell about the history of the hospital and adding flavor of the ghosts that actually lived here during the hospital times.
Heard them.
And it's a Paavo, the ghost. So it's a good way to start the conversation. But I think also that was also had a bigger role in the beginning when building the Maria01 story. I think now we become a much more established as a brand, so people know the place. They have some kind of a understanding, you know, what's going on here. So I would say we maybe a little bit kind of not hidden is a wrong word, but like put it on the background, maybe the hospital story, in the sense of coming out. But then always when kind of telling stories, then that is definitely we want to like still have it there. And,
it's part of the story.
It is part of the story. It's part of the history, and I think history should be always praised and not forgotten. So yes, we still. You know,
I'm not sure if
proud.
it's true or not, but I heard that some people were like turning up a few years ago expecting like medical care.
Yeah. That's the story with the first tagline we had there on the main door. Not a hospital. The reason for that was exactly because of people were coming here, even in like very bad condition, and they were asking like, "Where's the doctor?" And obviously, So now eating these noodles, I would wish this would be a hospital still.
I think it's worse, you know, when you're eating them really slowly. If you eat them really quickly, then it's over and done with. You're just prolonging the pain right now. A bit more about Maria 01. How do you support startups besides like providing a physical space to work?
I'm not good as well.
I think I mean the space is of course something that needs to be there. Like that's the basis for everything. So having an office or a desk or wherever you work from. But I think the real value is created like outside that. The way the approach we have is more of acting as a platform. So for example, comparing to an accelerator program where you have this, you know, schedule and you know you have these meetings and the sessions and all this. We don't have that approach. It's more kind of like we provide different possibilities and opportunities, whether that's, you know, meeting an investor or meeting a partner or, you know, using some of the good deals we have, for example, with, I don't know, with AVS or with HubSpot or, you know, one of those or something else. So we provide those possibilities. And then it's up to the companies and the founders and the entrepreneurs and everybody in here to figure out like, okay, what is it that where you see the value? And then you ask us, okay, like I would really love to meet this person. Could you help us out? So that's where we step in. So okay, then we reach out to those specific investors, whomever they are. We make those connections kind of enable those interactions within. So that's more kind of the approach that we have. So working closely with investors, partners, service providers, different deal providers, and then of course the community management part. So how do we bring people together in a casual setup for you to meet other startups, to kind of share the same topics that you have, same challenges you have, and then you might discover that, hey, actually this is something that we have been thinking for a long time, and actually the other company has already found a solution that you can share together. So it's a lot about that also.
Providing the right networks and then startups finding the values in these things.
Pretty much like that. Okay. I think now I discovered, so the faster you eat this, the less it will hurt you.
What are some of the challenges, struggles or challenges you faced as a CEO?
Well, there's many, but I think it's more kind of like in my current role, it's managing so many multiple different stakeholders, so many different kind of, you know, functions we do here at Maria 01. So like, you know, campus services and facility services, and there's operations management, and there's business development, and there's, you know, partnerships, then there's community management and marketing. So there's like, it has many different aspects. So like every day or in like different meetings, how you set up your brain to the specific kind of like frequency, so to say. But also in terms of number of stakeholders, like I said, almost 200 different companies, multiple other stakeholders, then our owners, you know, all this. So like how to switch your brain between all these different, and how to prioritize the things that are like most important at the moment.
Ooh. Anything for the content, Sandra.
Anything for the company.
Okay. So, are there any exciting future plans for Maria 01?
Yes, there's a lot of exciting plans. I think the kind of biggest plan is to expand the current campus. Just give me a minute. So the south side of the area is going to have 50,000 square meters more space in the future. When that will happen exactly, I cannot tell you yet, because it's still in the process, you know, with the permissions for the constructions, everything like that. But yeah, definitely the goal is to triple size the size of the campus, which will then mean that there will be over 600 startup companies, over 6,000 people working in this area. So after that, we can say that this is truly one of the largest startup campuses globally.
Officially.
Globally also, yes. So yeah, that's the exciting plan.
Oh,
And I think, Sandra, you had one final question.
Okay.
I do.
The most important question.
Okay.
This is actually the most important question
Okay.
because we are all members of Maria 01.
Yeah.
And you, as a CEO, I have this great opportunity to ask you actually.
Okay.
What is your favorite startup in Maria 01?
Oh, favorite startup? Wow. The right answer would be I like.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next spicy chat.
Thank you.